Something I've noticed recently is that I've gotten attached to the awakening maps. So, if you aren't already familiar with awakening maps, there are tons of them. They exist in most religions and spiritual texts, and they also exist in psychology. There's actually lots and lots of psychological models that help us understand the process that we go through throughout life and then into awakening. And I've found them fascinating. I absolutely love these models. They've been really useful for someone like me who doesn't have a spiritual or religious background to understand what on earth is happening during awakening. But I've reached this point now where I've become attached to the models themselves. I look to them frequently to try to figure out what's going on with me instead of looking inward. And this is starting to change. I'm starting to realize that the models themselves are made up of concepts. It's an idea of the way something happens. It's a map, but it's not the reality of what actually happens. So it is true and helpful in a way, and also false and unhelpful in another way. As I'm reaching the later stages of the awakening journey, the stages when it's clear that the self is a concept, yet I'm still attached to the self. I'm having to dive into these more subtle attachments to things that maybe I picked up even in the last, couple of years since awakening. I know a lot of people will pick up a spiritual persona and identity. I have not done that. However, I have grown attachment to the spiritual awakening maps. Because I'm afraid to stand in my own authentic truth, to speak my own authentic truth, the maps provide comfort. They provide an authority that I can refer to, that I can say, see, this is what happens. This is where I am. This is why it's happening. And that was extremely helpful given my relatively low self-esteem upon entering this phase of life. However, now I'm at a point where the maps, although helpful, are holding me back. I look to them to give me authority. They validate my experience. They make me feel like it's okay to be experiencing what I'm experiencing. And that's not necessary. More obvious forms of validation fell away years ago in this journey. For example, validation from parents or friends or romantic partners or even colleagues or bosses. None of that matters. Validation is just a trap that keeps you engaging in behaviors that don't feel good. But as you continue on, you have to face subtler and subtler forms of things like validation, of concepts that you've attached to. And for me, the awakening models validate me. They make me feel like I'm okay. And I'm just now starting to move past that. I'm okay anyway. Whatever I need to say, want to say, whatever I'm experiencing is okay. And whatever you're experiencing is okay, whether or not you know it yet. We attach to things because we feel like we're not okay, because something outside of ourselves makes it okay that we are what we are. But the funny thing is, those things outside of us prevent us from being who we are. So, although I continue to really appreciate the awakening maps, it's time to let go of them as a tool for validating myself.